So hey guys, welcome to another video, and today we're going to be building a new UI. Why? Well, yesterday I finally got my 2-piece set bonus, which changes the playstyle you're going to use as a resto druid quite dramatically. Alright, so what the set bonus does is, if I use Nature Swiftness, I'll get 3 charges instead of 1. Which is, fairly strong. That is fairly strong. As you can see, your Healing Touch healed you for 85,000 critical strike, and it multi-striked for 13k. So Healing Touches are now very strong, especially when you combine it with something like a Glyph of Healing Touch, which will reduce, every time you cast a Healing Touch, the cooldown of Nature's Swiftness will be reduced by 2 seconds. Now, I'm going to be pairing that with Nature's Vigil, while still having the functionality of, having something for Heart of the Wild, if I do use it, which I do every now and then. And I also want to make a UI that works pretty much with all the talents, but mostly focuses on Incarnation, Nature's Vigil, and Germination kind of stuff. But I can still use the Soul of the Forest, Rampant Growth, Wombo combo, even with Dream of Scenarios, alright? Force of Nature, not until 6.1. So what you're looking at right now is basically the default. This is a mess setup, and I usually work from here. So first of all, I want to go for something slightly different. Rather than having the healing frames up here, I want to have them down here, sort of, because as I was going through Blackrock Foundry, I actually found the healing frames up here to be quite obnoxious on a couple of bosses. So I want to move them down here. So when I zoom out, I have a bunch of space between my character and the healing frames. So first of all, I'm going to start off with aligning, and by the way, I'm doing this because people keep asking about my UI. Right, first of all, I'm going to align my healing frames. Now, 30 people is the most you're going to get, and I want to have it set up for 30 people. Because if we're doing heroic mode, or even normal mode, maybe, probably not, but if you're doing heroic mode as opposed to mythic mode, I want to have a UI that works with that. Alright, I don't want to have a UI that only works with 20 people, and as soon as you get 30 people, it's just a mess and you can't heal. So I'm using Voodoo, and I'm gonna run a simple test. Now when I move it, we now have 40 people. So as you can see, this is just way too big. So I'm gonna go into panels, sizing, and I need to knock it down excuse me, so it fits sort of there-ish, right? I want to have it sort of this big, and we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. That's fantastic. All right, that's about right. That's about where I wanted to have it, what I want to have it, right around there. That should be all right. Looks fine. Let's see if it's aligned properly. Kind of. Don't worry about the unit frames. We're gonna move them soon enough. So this looks about alright, maybe slightly higher, so there's some space down here as well, but this looks about alright. I think this is fine. This looks fine. So we can lock that in place. So now that we have the size, we can take a look at the hot sizes. This is the setup I have: Life Bloom, Rejuve, Germination, Living Seed, Wild Growth, and Regrowth. So this is the setup I currently run. Now the extra action button, I'm going to move that over there for now, as well as the vehicle button. We don't need that at the moment. Now target and the player unit frame, I don't even know if I want to use them very much. So for now, I'm just going to move them to the side so they're not in the way. Now, what is my way of doing things is I'll always... Oh, lag. I don't know why this happens. This happens with Tell Me When lately. When you move around things, you can get lag spikes for some reason. I don't know why. It's fine when you don't move things around. So, now that we have that, we're going to make this slightly bigger, sort of like that. I'm going to put that on top. I like to have it on top. And I'm going to lock that in place. And I also need to move my quartz casting bar, so toggle bar lock, because it's going to interfere. Alright, so it's down there. Now, there are 2 ways I can do this. I was thinking about having it down here and having it really big, and that's probably what I'm going to go for, actually. I don't want to have it like here or down there, somewhere in this stupid place. I was thinking about just putting it down here, which is quite far away from where I would normally look, but if I make it, if I stretch it enough, it might be alright. So let's try that out. And player, we're gonna adjust the width. There you go. I can go for something like that, but adjust the height for something like that. That's alright ish. It might be too wide. I might have to play around with that, but let's keep it like that for now and see if it's good enough. Alright, so if I cast a healing spell, I can sort of see it, but not very well, unfortunately. So I'll move that later. For now, that's fine. The next thing is the boss frames. I would like to have them sort of around there. Alright, so when I go range 8, is it not going to work outside of a 8? Well, that's fun. Well, I'll have to configure that in a raid. I would like to have the range frame sort of around here-ish. Alright, sort of around there. Now the main thing, these two bars, Nature Swiftness and Nature's Vigil. I need to fit this in somewhere where it makes sense. And I was thinking about putting it sort of here-ish. Like to the side. I would like to have like all the important stuff sort of around the raid UI and raid cooldowns. So something like that. So when I exit the config mode and I do Nature Swiftness and I do 3 of them, we'll do that. Although I think I would prefer to have it reversed, so it goes from bottom to top. So when I cast a bunch of healing touches now, as you can see, the cooldown is going to be back relatively soon, which is always nice. So something like this. I need to move the cast bar somewhere. I don't know where. Right, this is a problem. I don't know where I'm going to put it. Let's just try something like this. Let's toggle the bar lock. Come on. Toggle the lock. Player width. Let's just go for something like that, slightly higher. And let's move it sort of underneath my character. So I'll have the target. The focus doesn't need to be here. I don't use focus, but just in case I will use it sometimes. Okay, we can have it sort of there. That's about fine. That's about right. So I now have it there, which I guess could be alright. The problem is I can't really see this very well, so I need to do something with that. I don't like that being there. Maybe I could move it like, whoa, that's too big. That is too big. Sort of like there. Have it sort of here, or maybe even here. That might be even a thing. Yeah, something like that. Now with the boss frames aligned with that, that could be alright. That could be alright. Something like this could be fine. Could be fine. Now down here is where the cooldowns are gonna go. Yes. So this one is gonna be Incarnation, and that's pretty much it from that. For that, then we want. What do we want? What do we want? And bark skin, definitely. Let's throw that over there though. We want iron bark, definitely. And what's next? What's next? Rebirth. I'm gonna make a separate tell me one for that one. Next, Stampeding Roar. That's definitely a good thing. Let's throw that over there. Swiftment. Yeah, so it's good to have. Trank. Of course, we need Trank. Wild Growth. Let's throw that there. And that's pretty much it, isn't it? Yeah, that's pretty much it. No, it's actually not. There's one more thing. Nature's Cure. There we go. Let's throw that right there. And I don't actually have too many things. So let's take bark skin. Let's put it there. And let's put roar. Put it there. Cut this off. And sort of center that above the frames. So we have 4 and 4. So it should be sort of like there. That should be fine. Now with that, I could move this here. So it's sort of, let's open Voodoo again. Now sorry if I'm a bit quiet. This is usually what happens when I'm playing around with the UI. So sort of like that. That could be fine. That would be alright. Right, so we have that. Boop. That will do things. And we have this and that. That's pretty alright. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. Okay, let's look that. Let's look that. Let's just... However, I don't know if I should really have this here or not. It doesn't really seem like something very useful, does it? But let's just say I could have it like that. Yeah, why not? And then focus. And focus target above that. That looks alright. That looks alright. Now this will be off to the side, opposite to the chat box, which I want to increase in size. Oh, that's too big. That is too big. Something like that, maybe. There's still a lot of space down here. I might fit something in there. But this will sort of be over here. This really bugs me. How it's a lot smaller, yet the icons are a lot bigger. So let's do something about that. Micro menu, we're going to do one row. Just smack it in the middle. Come on. There you go. There you go. That's pretty good. There we go. So bartender is pretty much done. I'm just going to leave this at the side. I might move things here and there once that's done. Now, I need both healing meter and damage meters. And you might think, well, that's not necessary at all. Actually, it is. Because, you know, once you have a combat res, if you have a combat res as a class, you should really have a damage meter and a healing meter. So, aside from, you know, when you're about to res a healer, and you have two healers dead, you will obviously res the one with more mana. But if you have two healers and they are both sort of on the same amount of mana, you want to res the one that was doing, you know, that was just doing more healing throughout the encounter. So that's what we want to do. So we sort of have it like that, which doesn't look that great, does it? It doesn't look that great. And for some reason I'm losing FPS. There we go, it's stabilized. So sort of like that. Once I do that and that. Okay. And then I can start healing touches. And it will start reducing the cooldown and swiftness. I could... This is a thing I could do. Toggle bar lock. I just put this somewhere else. I could have this sort of there. I still want the target cost bar to be sort of around there. So it's very obvious because I usually have the boss targeted. I don't have our tanks targeted. I want to have the boss targeted, which brings me to another thing. I want the boss's target to be visible as well. So I might put that somewhere around here so I know which tank is currently visible. Even though they usually call it, they call taunts. So you usually know which one is tanking. Thanks to that, that's a very good thing. You should ask your tanks to do that, always. Call the taunts so we know who's gonna get slapped in the face really hard in about 3 seconds from now. So I can have it sort of like that. That would be alright. Now, I won't have myself as a target, so it's gonna be sort of like that. That's not bad. I might increase it in size a bit. But, now I want another group, which is gonna be icons. Sort of like that. And for this one, I want to go with wild mushroom. Mushroom 1. And if it's absent, I sort of want to have it. Or do I want to have it like that? That might be a thing to do. Sort of like that. And the same thing with harmony. Buff debuff. Harmony. Boom. If absent, 100%. That could be a thing. Oh yeah, and harmony apparently doesn't have an icon. Harmony, there we go. So I can put this here. But this one is definitely going to be in combat only. Although, I might want to move it like to the side maybe? Because sometimes you just can't put one of them down. And it would be really obnoxious if it just covered my entire character. So I'll just say about there. Alright, and this one is really important to be only showing combat. Because that would get really obnoxious running around with that. So let's try the training dummies, see how it works. And I apologize if this is a bit boring, but this is how I do things. So let's cast a simple Wrath. There you go, whoosh. So that's that. If I throw down a shroom, and if I cast a spell, boom. Awesome, awesome. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's a good start. That's a good start. That is a good start.